Well, certainly the incidence of autism is increasing. And the NIH said we got to figure something out. And so there was a call for autopsy studies. You know, autistic kids that died of other causes, car accidents, drownings, house fires, etc. And that paper came out in 2005. It said kids with autism have brain inflammation. And in that same paper, they followed up by taking 19 children still alive and did spinal taps and found out that in their spinal fluid, they had inflammatory markers showing that indeed they had brain inflammation too. Concurrently with this, the guys that were studying traumatic brain injury had found out that when you get hit in the head, some people develop this inflammatory process that ends up being worse than the actual physical blow to the head, which is why these football players can have one concussive blow or even a subconcussive blow, and then 20 years later be 30 times more likely to have dementia. So the traumatic brain injury people were looking for a way to turn off brain inflammation. And they found out that this cell found in umbilical cord blood called the mesenchymal stem cell has the ability not only to turn off brain inflammation, but turn on brain restoration, actually promote new growth, promote new connections. And so the doctors at Duke, primarily Joanne Kurtzberg and Jessica Sun, knew already that cerebral palsy was an inflammatory disorder of the brain. So they took children with cerebral palsy, gave them umbilical cord blood, and 90% of those kids got better. Then they said, well, let's take kids with autism. And they did 25, either 30 or 25, I believe it's 30 kids with autism. And 60% got significantly better. And most people don't know, but there's now experimental models of autism, rodents, in primates. But if you stimulate brain inflammation in a particular rat, a BTBR mouse, I should say, not a rat, they start to exhibit signs of autism. They start repetitive behavior, they stop communicating, demonstrate antisocial behavior. But if you give them umbilical cord blood, it reverses it. And so it was worked out in an animal model, and then a human trial started, and that kicked off this whole thing. But the Duke study showed that there was objective changes, that after a single dose, that some of the kids had more connections in their brain, they had more normal EEGs, and they did a kind of a sophisticated study to objectively measure socialization, and that got better as well.